is a housing platform and international community for foreigners living in China. So today I want to share about a pre-arrival checklist before you come to China. So I'm sure most of you are coming quite soon, right? Like maybe end of this month or September. So today, rather than giving you another long list of documents, I want to focus on some of the practical things that can make your arrival easier. So the main idea I want to talk about is that prepare your essential apps before departure, understanding your housing options, and also after arriving, getting a Chinese SIM card first. And this will make the whole process a lot easier. So firstly, let's begin with accommodation. So your university will normally inform you when applications open for student dormitories or residence halls. So if you do plan to live on campus, please take that deadline seriously. So from what I have seen, so I was studying in Fudan. So from what I've seen, many universities have limited accommodation capacity. So receiving a university offer does not guarantee that you'll receive a room on campus. So apply as soon as the system opens, like really to the minute, to the second, and check whether payment is required to reserve the room and confirm whether your application has actually been accepted. Do not assume that submitting a form means that your room is secured. And for the room itself, there's a few things that you should check. Firstly, whether the room itself is shared or private, whether the bathrooms are shared. There is a possibility that you have to use a common bathroom, whether you can cook, and whether there is a curfew or a visitor policy for your dormitory or for your school, and when you're allowed to move in, and also very importantly, whether accommodation is available during university holidays. Sometimes you do have to pay more for the holiday accommodation. So even when you prefer university housing, it is sensible to understand your backup options in case your application is unsuccessful. So if you do not plan to live on campus or you apply but fail to get a room, you will need to look at off-campus accommodation. And if you do some basic research, you'll probably encounter a few names like Beike, Lianjia, Ziroom, and Wellcee, and they offer quite different rental experiences. Firstly, Beike is a large housing platform connected to an extensive network of real estate agencies and agents. And Lianjia is one of the best known traditional brokerage companies in China. So the advantage of using Beike or Lianjia is that they usually offer a large number of listings. An agent can arrange viewings for you, communicate with the landlords, and also explain the contract and help you compare different properties. This can be useful when you're new to the city and and if you need someone to guide you through the process. The disadvantage, of course, is cost. Agent commissions will apply, and the amount can depend on the property, city, and agency. The experience is also mainly designed for Chinese speaking users, so communication might be challenging without help. So basically, in conclusion, the pros are a large selection, offline agents, and more assistance during viewings and negotiation. But the cons, of course, agency commission, a Chinese first experience, and varying service quality. The next, 自如 is closer to a managed rental or service housing provider, and many properties are furnished and managed under a more standardized system. Depending on the property, service may include maintenance, cleaning support, online rent payments, and a dedicated housing manager. So basically, it means that if you need any help, you can contact this housing manager, and they can try to do as much as they can. For example, like Wi-Fi or cleaning services, or if some furniture or appliances are faulty. So this can make the moving experience a lot more predictable. You do not need to negotiate every detail directly with an individual landlord. However, the rent or overall fees will be higher than renting directly. There will be a monthly service fee. And also maybe some other charges like cleaning, and contract terms and room rules can be less flexible. So in simple terms, pros are furnished options. You can move in directly, standardized management, maintenance support, and a relatively convenient moving process. But the cons are potentially higher costs and service fees, and also less flexibility. And next, Wellsea. Wellsea is a direct rental platform. So the listings come from individual landlords, existing tenants transferring their lease, or someone that's looking for a roommate. So the main advantage is that you communicate directly with the landlord or roommate and do not pay an agency commission. So this can be especially valuable for students who are already paying tuition fees, deposits, and a lot of other arrival costs. So Wellsea is also designed for an international audience. So many listings and user profiles are available in English. The trade-off is that it is more self-service. So because there is no traditional agent handling every step for you, so you need to ask questions and check the contract yourself and verify the room before transferring any large amount of money. So in simpler terms, no agency commission, direct communication, international friendly interface, and useful roommate options. But of course, more personal responsibility for comparing listings, asking questions, and checking the contract. So before paying, there's a few things that you need to ask that you need to check and confirm. So firstly, the exact address and travel time to campus, which is very important, right? And the rent and security deposit, for example, how many months of deposit is required, 1 month or 2 months, whether rent is paid monthly, quarterly, or through another schedule. Basically, it's more common for it to be monthly or quarterly. And what do you need to pay management fees, utilities, and internet costs? Do you need to pay for the internet yourself? The length of the contract, it's usually for a year in China. And what happens if you want to leave the lease early? For example, you live in a flat for 6 months and you want to change your flat, and what can you do? Can you get your deposit back? Whether the properties match the photographs, very important, and who will be legally signing the contract will be yourself, and whether the landlord can cooperate with your accommodation registration, which is very, very important because every foreigner has to register wherever you are living. So whether you are renting from a landlord, an agent, or a subleaser, or a current tenant, you need to get all these details figured out. And please remember, never transfer a large deposit simply because someone tells you a lot of other people are interested in this flat. So what do you do when you arrive? The one of the first practical tasks should be getting a Chinese SIM card, and a Chinese phone number becomes the foundation for many other services. You may need it for your bank account, your delivery apps, ride hailing, identity verification, very important. And okay, so in China, there's three major operators: China Mobile, China Unicom, and China Telecom. You need to go to an official branch or use the service recommended by your university. Bring your passport because the number must be registered under your identity. This is very important. This means so if you want to use your Alipay and WeChat, you need to have your phone number needs to be registered under your passport, under your own name. It cannot be your friends or your guardians or anyone's. Your university may also organize SIM card services during the registration week. So compare the packages rather than immediately accepting the first one offered. So there's a few things you need to check also for your package: your monthly data allowance, your contract length, and whether the package can be cancelled, and also the coverage around your campus, because this might vary in every different city, and also if there's any international calls included in this package. So do not choose purely based on the lowest advertised price. And once you have a Chinese phone number and have completed the necessary university registration, now you can open a Chinese bank account. Ask your university which bank and branch do they recommend, because branches near universities are often more familiar with international students and the documents they need. Most of the time, classmates, friends, they will go to the same bank together and figure this out together, which will be a lot more convenient, right? You need to bring your passport, your Chinese phone number, your admission or student status documents, your accommodation information, and sometimes even your tax identification number from your own country. So requirements can vary between banks and even between individual branches, and official guidance generally lists a passport and a real name Chinese mobile number as a core requirement, which links back to what we were talking about just now: a phone number under your own name, very important. And some banks may also request a proof of address or other supporting documents. And if you're receiving a scholarship, which is even more important, they might require you to go to a specific bank. So check with the international student office before choosing one. And once your bank account is ready, you can link your Chinese bank card to WeChat Pay and Alipay and use them for most daily payments. However, you do not need to wait until then to start preparing. Before traveling, of course, you can download your WeChat and Alipay first, create your accounts, complete any available identity verification, and link an international card. So both Alipay and WeChat Pay currently support several overseas cards, including Visa and Master. However, an international card linked to a mobile wallet may not support every function. So for example, transfers or rate packets may be unavailable, and some transactions may still fail because of merchant or bank restrictions. So this is also why I recommend having a few payment layers. Firstly, an international card connected to Alipay or WeChat Pay, but also you should have sufficient cash for your first few days. And also lastly, of course, a Chinese bank account and a local bank card after registration. Visa and MasterCard are accepted directly and at some hotels and some larger businesses, but they are not a dependable everyday payment method at smaller restaurants or local services. So you do not arrive assuming that you can use your international card everywhere. In China, people use Union Pay, which is not Master and not Visa. So it's very difficult to navigate your everyday life with just an international card. So cash is a very useful backup option, particularly if your account verification fails or if your foreign bank blocks a transaction. So also please remember to complete your identity verification before you come to China. And a few other apps that you can prepare before arriving. So do not depend on Google Maps. I'm sure most of you already know that you cannot access Google over here. So even where you can access it, local information and routing may not be useful or might not be up to date. So download a map, also called Gouda Maps or Baidu Maps instead. A map now provides multilingual services for international users and offers public transport, walking, cycling, and driving routes. So I would say go for that. Maybe also a translation app with text, voice, and photo translation. And about internet access, think about how you access the online services you rely on before departure. So some international websites and apps may not be accessible in mainland China. So do your research and set up an appropriate connectivity solution before traveling. Do not wait until you're already in China and unable to access the information that you need. So other useful apps can be downloaded later, like Didi, Meituan, for ride hailing and for food delivery. So most ordinary household items can be purchased easily after arrival, so you do not need to pack everything. Prioritize items that you may need immediately or that are difficult to replace. One thing that many students forget is actually power adapters. So because everyone is coming from a different country, so when you're in China, it might be difficult to get a power adapter for your own devices. So a universal adapter is useful, particularly during your first few days before you have time to shop. Also, passport size photographs. Bring some photographs in different common sizes because universities might still need this for student registration, medical forms, resident procedures, and stuff. So basically, there are several things to complete before your departure. Download WeChat Alipay, register accounts, link an international bank card, prepare your internet access, research your housing options, and of course, apply for the accommodation before the deadline. Pack your adapter, maybe personal medication, and some photographs. So after you arrive, remember the order, which is first get your Chinese SIM card, complete your university registration, and collect the documents needed by the bank, and then open your Chinese bank account, and then you can connect your local bank card to WeChat Pay and Alipay. And there is one final part of your preparation that is easy to underestimate, which is learning some basic Chinese. You don't need to speak fluent Chinese before arriving, but think about all the tasks that we have talked about just now. You may need to explain your destination to a taxi driver or choose a mobile phone package, speak to a bank staff. So translation apps are useful, but they are not the fastest solution, especially when you're speaking to someone who is also in a hurry. So knowing some practical phrases can help you feel more confident and independent from your first day onwards. So on 10 August, Crossline will be holding another session focused on useful and practical Chinese for students preparing to move to China. So if today's session has helped you understand what you need to do, the next session can help you build some of the language skills that you need while actually doing it. So the goal is to give yourself a useful head start to communicate your basic needs and handle your first few everyday situations with a little bit more confidence. So before you finally leave for China, I would definitely recommend joining the session on 10 August. You are also very welcome to join the Wellcee WeChat or Discord group. You can ask about anything here. You can also connect with other international students who are preparing for the same journey or are already living here. So thank you, Crossline Education, for having me today. I hope this checklist makes your preparation a little clearer and your arrival a lot less stressful. And I hope you have a great start to your student life in China.
Yes, thank you. So we're also gonna show the QR code right now. Give me a second. And yeah, so you can also join the pre-arrival community. By that, you would also see what exactly. You can also talk to others in the WeChat group if needed. I think it's projecting right now. Yes, it's on the screen. If you have any other questions, feel free to type and or maybe ask here. Just give me a second. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can either type or maybe you can now talk in the meeting.
Feel free to ask any questions. I was a student, I came to Shanghai in 2018, so I also completed my studies as an international student. So you can ask any questions if you have any.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you get for the telephone SIM, but is there a thing that I should look for when first getting one?
Sorry, can you repeat?
You said not to look for the price yet, not to look for the lowest price SIM card.
Oh,
Is there
yes.
a thing that I should most look for? I don't know
Uh,
how
do you
how
mean
to
like an
respond to
average
it.
price or like what kind of package that you should go
What
for?
to look for in a SIM card, I mean.
Okay, actually they are quite direct. If you go to any stores near you, the three operator stores like the Unicom or Telecom or something, they will show you the plans available, and then they will let you know, like for example, how much data allowance that you will have in each plan. But basically, I if your university is organizing a SIM card like registration thing during your first week, then that might be the best choice.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, thank you.
no
In
problem.
addition, sometimes universities would also and invite these companies to the school. So during the registration and orientation days, you would also find these people right inside of a school in all these small booths. We call it booths. So it's more like a tent. So you can just go there and get registered on the spot. This also works.
Yeah, basically, packages here in China should be really cheap. My own package is like 99 yuan a month, which is considered quite expensive. So you have a benchmark. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. Okay, I'm not able to access any Chinese apps. Even if I do, I'm not able to log in. What do you mean? What kind of Chinese apps do you want to access, but you can't?
I think I heard this before. So,
Okay.
um, the student is from India, which apparently that India has already banned many of the Chinese apps, including WeChat back in 2021, I think. In this
Oh,
case, yes, this has been going on for quite a while. We recommend you to try to find something more like I don't know if it's app iPhone or maybe Android, maybe other phones, but sometimes it will be useful to switch your phone's country to China. If you're using an iPhone, you just need to register in China's app store so that you can download everything there. It really depends on what type of phone brand you're using. You can still find a way out.
okay. How many dollars or euros in cash do you suggest bring for the first weeks until our bank account is made? Depends on your city. I would say, for example, your tuition and dorm fees should be already paid for, right? So I'm assuming that you only need to pay for your like daily food and stuff. So I don't think that's a lot. If it's Shanghai, maybe 200 yuan a day is very, very much more than sufficient. About Alipay, is it enough for the first day without cash? I've set my cards and works. Yes, still bring some cash. I have encountered sometimes when my friends come to China, for example, they want to pay some merchants, but it doesn't go through because of this and that problem. So it doesn't usually happen, but it's still possible. So yeah, keep some cash. It will be much safer. Okay, second tier cities are on the cheaper. Yes, yes, second tier cities are on the cheaper side. Yes, exactly. For login, they're asking for a number. So yes, so that's why most of the time you do need a Chinese number to navigate a lot of things. But if it's WeChat, I think you can register with a international number, right? For eSIM, you cannot receive a OTP. You cannot receive the verification number, the message, the one-time password.
eSIM is more like when you arrive in the first 1 or 2 days and not more than 1 week, you use it to communicate, log into your apps, logging using the internet. But yes, you cannot receive verification code because it's not like a phone number attached to it. So I think it's more like in the initial few days you use it, but after that you ditch it and use the SIM card.
Yes, that's true. Would there be a problem if I register WeChat with an international number? I don't think so. I think most of the students do that. Mm.
Just a bit explanation about this one. So, when you register WeChat with your foreign number, every time when you add a Chinese account as a friend, your friend's WeChat will always pop up with something like the user is not from mainland China. Please proceed with caution. Every time if your mobile phone number is not in China. But like normally you register with it, it's still okay. It does not affect how you use it. Maybe when you arrive in China, you can register a new one using your new phone number. So it's up to you.
Mm. I think you can change the register number. I think I did that. Mm. Is it better to download after arrival? Because if I am able to use it within a few days, my internet provider stops it. I can only use it. Let me see. Is it better to download after arrival? Because even if I am able to use it within a few. Oh, okay. Can you get Alipay? I feel like tying an international bank card to your Alipay is the most important thing. So if the other apps you cannot access it right now, I think it's still fine. If you can download and register Alipay, so I think that's enough. Registration days in between. I think it's okay. By the way, if you're coming to how to say, for example, you are not getting your dormitory immediately and you need to live in a hotel for a few days first, I suggest doing it like booking a hotel early as possible, because most of the time the hotels around your schools they will be so packed, so crowded. The QR code versus a payment card. Verifying a new WeChat account with a QR code versus a payment card. What do you mean verifying a new WeChat account with a QR code?
I think the question is like, yeah, I kind of get it. So, when you register WeChat, especially from foreign mobile phone, you need to have someone who already registered, help scan your code. Um,
Okay, okay, I
Normally
understand.
we will use this method because if you use payment card method, it's a little bit more um demanding. So yeah. But both ways is okay. Both ways are just to verify yourself to prevent use bot accounts or something.
Yeah, both works. Any method that's easier for you. Yes, WeChat is Weixin. It's the same thing. Yeah. Any other questions?
Feel free to ask other questions.
For insurance, I think you just have to buy the student insurance, right, for international students.
In your school's welcoming letter, sometimes they would also designate the link. If they hasn't, you can also check the community. Inside, we also have a student insurance link.
Do you mean your campus registration? I think it will be during the same period of time. They will ask you to do it within that few days. Oh, it should be online. I don't think you can buy it on site. I don't think so. I didn't do it on site. I bought it online. They will give you a link. Can only access oh, you can only access Alibaba, not Alipay. Oh, then that's the different thing. Okay, then maybe you can only do it when you arrive here. Not possible at all to do any kind of freelance work. If they are paying you from your own country, maybe that's the best option. If we're thinking about doing some freelance work, if they're paying you in China, so if it is a Chinese company, mm, firstly, it might not be a lot of money. It will be quite you won't be able to earn a lot. So I don't think it's very worthwhile to do it. If you can find some work from your own country, maybe that's better. For the CSC scholarship, I had the CSC scholarship. I remember now that we have to buy it on our own. Like you have to buy it and they will reimburse you or something. Is it possible to work in China after graduate? Yes, I am working in China right now after I graduated. It's possible as long as there's a company that's willing to issue you this visa. Anybody with any more questions?
If that's all of the questions, we're about to finish today's online session. We're about to do more in the future, and also please scan the QR code provided, and also later gonna send it in the group again so that you can join and find more and know about this more. Yes, there's a new one.
Uh, delivery services at Beijing Daxing Airport is in Xi'an and can't be hauling them. Okay. uh, yes, you can contact me in the WeChat group. Delivery service, I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have delivery services in major airports. You just need to look for them. I guess go for SF 顺丰.
Yeah, so for delivery luggages, it depends. There are two possible options. Option number one is that you just send it directly from your home country to Xi'an, which is also viable. Inside our community, we also have a luggage link. But another way is that you first bring it to Beijing Airport if you have any valuables inside, and then you would go to the airport's. Maybe you can first contact the delivery company or the airport in advance so that when you come here, you find the designated person, designated place so that you can give it to them. And then you would go to Xi'an with the luggage is provided separately.
Okay. Uh, any other way to contact me because you can't access WeChat right now, is it? Um, maybe Discord. I heard that they only provide you with a job when you had studied in Chinese program. Yes, of course. Of course, like if you're bilingual, then of course that's a very huge advantage.
Yeah, think of if we don't have any other questions, we can finish today, and we're gonna also post the link in the group chat. Again, thank you so much, Xinru, for your time, and wish
Thank
you
you.
have a nice Sunday. And yeah, we'll see you again soon. Yeah, I think we're about to close the meeting. Thank you.